Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Sorry that I've been distant from doing videos most of the day. I just didn't feel motivated to do a video until now, so I'm returning to you for Khalid's new album, Sincere, that I got a chance to listen to for his new record, his, I presume, third studio album or something like that. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for his long-awaited third studio album, Sincere, and let you know my thoughts on this record overall. So let's dive into this album review. Now, it has 16 tracks, which is a runtime of 52 minutes. And it starts with Adore You, which sounds really nice. Pretty much Khalid's vocals make it work with this track, and the melody was pretty soothing for the most part. So really dig this. Definitely slow vibe R&B kind of song. So 4.75 out of 5. Not one of the best, but still pretty strong. It's one of the highlights. Everything We See is another pretty strong track in its own way. I'd give this a 4.75 out of 5. Khalid's vocals make it flow with this track, and the melody sounds really nice. So, yeah, 4.75 out of 5. Altitude is a pretty good one, too. I think the first 4 tracks were the best parts of the song, of this album, and some of the other tracks sound pretty strong, too. So, basically, Altitude had a really nice, just ominous melody that sounded really interesting. And I really digged Khalid's vocals in this one, so 4.75 out of 5. It's All Good was pretty strong of a track. Really dig Khalid's vocals in this one too. I think execution-wise and production-wise, this track worked, and with his falsetto towards the end of the track, made it sound really nice and soothing to the listener. So I really dig that about the track, so 4.75 out of 5. Broken was a solid one. Good song in its own way, but not one of my favorites. But it is another good track for the record. I don't know, this one felt a little slow-paced. Not in a bad way, just in a good way, I guess. So 4.5 out of 5. Dose was a good song, too, as well. It's going to get a 4.5 out of 5. Along with, it's the same rating I gave Broken, but still, the track had some good points, but there were some slight weak points through this track with the execution of how Khalid's singing it from time to time. So 4.5 out of 5. Please Don't Fall in Love with Me. This one was decent. Not one of my favorites, but it's fine for what it is. I didn't hate it so much, so I'd give it a 4 out of 5. It's a decent song. Probably the least favorite for this record. I don't know. With his singing and some of his slight rapping, I didn't know if I felt for this track, to be honest. So, 4 out of 5. Breathe, featuring Arlo Parks, I believe, as a rapper. I think his vocals, or he or she, one of them, was rapping in the track, and it didn't sound bad, but I think this song was above decent. So 4.25 out of 5. I don't know, some of the execution was hit or miss then and there with how the track was playing out. Ground was another above decent track. I'd give it a 4.25 out of 5. With this one, I don't know, Khalid's vocals didn't really pique my interest with this one, but it was fine. Who's There to Pick Me Up is a good track in its own way. I really dig this track for what it goes for, so 4.5 out of 5. Melody sounds nice. The execution of the production and mixing were pretty solid, but there were some hiccups through this track with Khalid singing certain moments in the track, and how the song was going to execute is the main thing. So 4.5 out of 5. Tainted. It got a little repetitious in some areas when he sang the chorus, but other than that, it still was a solid track. So 4.5 out of 5. Long Way Home was a good song in its own way too. I'd give this a 4.5 out of 5. I think Khalid's vocals work with this track and just the execution of the song fared pretty well in its own way. So 4.5 out of 5. Heat Stroke was a really nice track. I like the beat to this song. Sounds really good, and overall Khalid makes his vocals work with this track and just the catchy tune. It does get a little repetitious with him singing the same lyrics in the close to the end of the track. That's probably the best part of the song, but overall 4.75 out of 5. Sincere is a good song in its own way. I'd give this a 4.5 out of 5. Didn't necessarily hate it, but there were some weak tendencies to this track with how it was sounding, but as the title track, it's not that bad. So 4.5 out of 5. OTU. Pretty good song. I really like Khalid's vocals in this track. It makes it work with this song, and just overall the execution played out marvelously. So 4.75 out of 5. And finally, Decline, the closing track to the record, which is the 16th song on the album, was actually a good song to end the record. So nothing too extravagant, but something interesting to get through as a listen. So 4.5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I found myself thinking that Khalid Sincere, his new album, was an average record. It was a lot better than Free Spirit, I'll tell you that. So I think he's improving with his music as of lately. I wouldn't say this is gonna be something that I'd really come back to a lot, but maybe I could. I don't know. This is an occasional I'll listen to when I feel like it kind of album. I'll listen to it when I feel like it. But there are going to be times where I'll come back to this quite frequently just to get a new take on it as the year goes on, which there's not much. There's like 4 months left of this year, and then that's it. So pretty much, if I were to give this record an overall score, Khalid Sincere, it's going to get a 7.5 out of 10. Average record. Definitely check it out, see what you think of it. Because everyone else will have a different take towards this record, but I think this is probably as good as it's going to get, because this is the first album I'd give over a 6. Because this is the first album in his discography that I quite enjoyed. His earlier music I heard was not very good. Free Spirit, I felt bored with that record, and it was quite a dud. But this one was much better. I was really enjoying the songs writing, this execution of how the songs were playing out, and just the production and mixing flowed very well with this record. And he didn't try to tweak with this record that much, maybe a few times, but it didn't sound as bad as Free Spirit did. But overall, a much better record. I'd give him props for this one because he at least made an effort to try something more melodic, more interesting, and more mellow bass kind of album. So overall, 7.5 out of 10 for Khalid Sincere. Thank you for watching this album review tonight.